put your car in gear, park if you're in an automatic, put your wheel chocks in, start loosening your lug nuts before the tire's off the ground. So you never want to work on your car while it's on a jack only. You want to jack it up and then place jack stands under each side, preferably each side. So you got to find a good jack point. So I found the points I'm going to put my jack to, and I'm making sure that they're in good position so that when I bring the jack down, they will fall down properly and they won't cause injury or damage to the car. So it looks like now I'm ready. Now you just gently and slowly release the jack. 4 14 millimeter bolts. You get your sliding pins, 1, 2, and you get your bracket bolts, which is 3, and then under there 4. So on the driver's side, the coil got in the way a little bit, but just jam your wrench in there. Normally I will try to hold my hand here, and the camera's probably going to fall, but I'll bang it with the hammer. Sure enough, that did the trick. There. So for your bracket bolt, you might want to remove your slide pin. Put it somewhere safe. Bottom bracket bolt is giving you a lot of trouble, like it's been giving me all day. This is what I do. Put a bracket bar, the extension, 14 socket extension breaker bar, run it to the back. I have it set up so that jack, when I raise it, it'll then put the loosening force on that bolt. So let's see if it'll do the trick for me again, because it worked earlier. So now you've got all your bolts loosened. Now you want to take out the bottom slide bolt, place it somewhere safe. I'm going to put the top slide bolt back in. Make sure caliper doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so you've got both bracket bolts removed. Put them in their safe place. Now you want to swing your old caliper right out of here. You want to make sure you be good to that, and make sure you're good to this cable here, otherwise you're going to be getting into an accident if you let that cable get cut. It's a good place to rest these calipers. You can rest them as long as that cable is okay. You're going to push as hard as you can on this piston with both thumbs, and if you can't do it with your hands, this damn breaker bar comes in very handy. You just lay the breaker bar right across the cylinder there, and press it in. Crowbar can come in handy. Then you want to take your brake cleaner spray it all in here. Get that nice and clean. So, be careful of getting grease on your new rotors. Before you put them on, spray them down a little bit. And spray the surface. This is the fun part. We're going to be greasing up our caliper with our synthetic brake grease. You want to take these metal pins out, because your new brake pads probably came with new ones anyways. Now underneath there, you want to make sure it's nice and the shape that it's supposed to be. If there's any buildup, you want to take that out with a wire brush or whatever. And then you're going to take your synthetic grease. This is where the metal to metal contact is, and just under where those metal clips touch, you're going to grease up where they go. You don't want to overdo it. This is going to prevent all that noise and squeaking that sometimes happens when people do new brakes. And it's never fun to put new brakes on and you still sound like you're going to kill somebody. Now you're going to put your clips back in. Pretty simple. I like these ones. They're a lot easier than other cars I've worked on. Okay, so that's in. You also want to put a little bit of the synthetic grease onto the end of the piston there. And you're also going to do your slide pins. So you're going to clean off the old grease. You're going to put on some new grease. I just do a dab on each side. And then I run the clean paper towel around lightly. That nice and coated. Greased up slide pin. Now that you got your caliper back up there, you can start getting things back in place. Take one of your bracket bolts, grease that other slide pin, just like we did before. Silicone on the rubber parts that touch rubber. I know this is metal, but it touches the rubber sleeve. Greased up. Slide that in. Then we're going with your fingers a little bit. You can catch enough of the bolt. That extension. Now you snug both of those bracket bolts up now. You also snug up those slide bolts. Now is when you take your torque specs and you take your torque wrench and you torque down the bracket bolts and the slide bolts. Now, whatever your manufacturer specs are, you have to figure that out. I'm not going to provide you with the information or how to use a torque wrench because that's found in another video. But if you want to do the job right and make sure your brakes don't get compromised, you want to use the torque wrench and use the specifications for your vehicle. Now you really should be all set. Make sure everything's tight. Make sure it's nice and clean. You're all done. The jack is off the car. You hand tighten your lug nuts before you let the car down. Now you tighten up your lug nuts. Usually 85 to 110 10-pound-foot torque, depending on what car you have. Again, you're going to have to look that up because I'm not giving you the numbers. I won't be responsible if I make a mistake.